Hello, everyone.
Welcome to this special story designed to help you improve your English listening and speaking skills, especially in the context of health and medical situations. This story follows Sarah, a young woman who experiences a health issue and needs to visit the hospital. By following Sarah's journey, you will learn useful vocabulary, phrases, and expressions that can help you in similar real-life situations. Let's begin with Sarah's story from the moment she starts feeling unwell. It was a typical Thursday morning when Sarah woke up feeling a bit off. She had a slight headache and felt unusually tired. She brushed it off, thinking it was just because of the late night she had the day before. Working on a project for her job, as the day progressed, Sarah's condition didn't improve. In fact, she began to feel worse. By the afternoon, she noticed a slight fever and her headache had intensified. Despite drinking plenty of water and taking some over-the-counter pain relievers, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. By the time her workday ended, Sarah felt completely drained. She decided to go to bed early, hoping that a good night's sleep would make her feel better. However, as she lay in bed, her thoughts kept returning to her symptoms. She knew that ignoring her health wasn't a good idea, but she hoped that she would feel better by the morning. Unfortunately, when Sarah woke up the next morning, she felt even worse. Her fever had spiked, and she now had a persistent cough and body aches. She knew that she couldn't ignore these symptoms any longer and decided it was time to seek medical attention. Sarah called her workplace to inform them that she wouldn't be able to come in that day. Her boss, Mrs. Thompson, was understanding and advised her to take care of herself and visit the doctor.
After ending the call, Sarah decided to make an
Appointment with her primary care physician. She dialed the clinic's number and was greeted by a friendly receptionist named Emily. "Good morning, Dr. Anderson's office. This is Emily speaking. How can I help you today?" "Hi, Emily. This is Sarah Johnson. I'm feeling quite unwell and would like to see Dr. Anderson as soon as possible." "I'm sorry to hear that you're not feeling well, Sarah. Unfortunately, Dr. Anderson is fully booked today, but I can schedule you an appointment for tomorrow morning." Sarah's heart sank. She didn't think she could wait another day. "Is there any way I could see someone today? I'm feeling quite sick." Emily paused for a moment before replying, "Let me check with the nurse practitioner. Please hold for a moment." A few minutes later, Emily returned to the call. "Sarah, we can fit you in for an urgent care visit with our nurse practitioner, Ms. Turner, this afternoon at 2 p.m. Does that work for you?" "Yes, that's perfect." "Thank you so much, Emily." "You're welcome, Sarah. We'll see you at 2 p.m. Please bring your insurance card and a photo ID. Take care." Sarah thanked Emily and hung up the phone. She felt relieved knowing that she would be seeing a healthcare professional soon. Now, she just had to wait until her appointment at 1:30 p.m. Sarah got ready to leave for the clinic. She grabbed her purse, making sure she had her insurance card, photo ID, and a list of her symptoms. She then called a taxi to take her to the clinic, as she didn't feel well enough to drive herself. The taxi arrived promptly, and Sarah settled into the back seat. The driver, an elderly man with a kind smile, made small talk during the short ride. Sarah appreciated the distraction, as it helped take her mind off how poorly she was feeling. When they arrived at the clinic, Sarah paid the driver and thanked him.
She then walked into the clinic
and approached the reception desk. Emily greeted her with a warm smile. "Hi, Sarah. Please have a seat, and Miss Turner will be with you shortly. Sarah found a seat in the waiting area and tried to relax. She noticed a few other patients sitting quietly, some reading magazines and others looking at their phones. The atmosphere was calm, and Sarah felt reassured knowing she was in good hands. After about 10 minutes, a nurse called Sarah's name. She stood up and followed the nurse into an examination room. The nurse introduced herself as Maria and took Sarah's vital signs, including her temperature, blood pressure, and pulse. Your fever is quite high. Sarah, Maria said with a concerned look. Miss Turner will be in shortly to see you. In the meantime, try to relax. Sarah nodded and thanked Maria. She then sat on the examination table, waiting for Miss Turner. After a few minutes, the door opened, and a cheerful woman in her early 40s entered the room. Hello, Sarah. I'm Miss Turner, the nurse practitioner. I understand you're not feeling well. Can you tell me more about your symptoms? Sarah described her headache, fever, cough, and body aches in detail. Miss Turner listened attentively, taking notes. After examining Sarah and asking her a few more questions, Miss Turner had a clearer picture of what might be going on. Sarah. Based on your symptoms and the examination, it seems like you might have a viral infection, possibly the flu. I'm going to run a few tests to confirm this. We'll start with a flu test and a blood test to check for any other infections. Sarah agreed and thanked Miss Turner. Maria returned to take the necessary samples, and then Sarah was asked to wait while the tests were processed. After about 20 minutes, Miss Turner returned with the test results. Sarah, the flu test came back positive. It looks like you have the flu, which explains your symptoms.
When Sarah got home,
She immediately took her medication and settled onto the couch with a blanket. She felt grateful for the support and care she received from the clinic and pharmacy. Now, it was time to focus on getting better. Over the next few days, Sarah followed Miss Turner's advice closely. She stayed hydrated by drinking plenty of water and herbal tea. She ate light, nutritious meals, including soups, fruits, and vegetables. She also made sure to rest as much as possible, taking naps and sleeping early each night. Despite feeling weak and tired, Sarah found ways to keep herself entertained and positive. She watched her favorite TV shows and movies, read books, and listened to calming music. She also stayed in touch with her friends and family through phone calls and video chats, which lifted her spirits and made her feel less isolated. As the days passed, Sarah started to feel gradually better. Her fever went down, her cough became less severe, and her body aches subsided. By the end of the week, she felt well enough to start thinking about returning to her normal routine. To ensure she was fully recovered, Sarah scheduled a follow-up appointment with Dr. Anderson. She wanted to make sure that she was ready to return to work and that there were no lingering health concerns. On the day of her appointment, Sarah felt a bit nervous but hopeful. She arrived at the clinic and was greeted by Emily. The receptionist, who checked her in, Dr. Anderson will see you shortly, Sarah. Please have a seat, Emily said with a warm smile. Sarah sat in the waiting area, flipping through a magazine to pass the time. After a few minutes, Maria, the nurse, called her name and led her to an examination room. Good to see you again, Sarah. How have you been feeling? Maria asked as she took Sarah's vital signs. Much better, thank you. I just wanted to make sure everything is okay before I go back to work, Sarah replied.
Maria nodded and noted down the information.
Dr. Anderson will be in soon to see you. A few moments later, Dr. Anderson entered the room. He was a tall man with kind eyes and a reassuring demeanor. "Hello, Sarah. It's good to see you. I understand you've been dealing with the flu. How are you feeling now?" he asked, looking over her chart. "I'm feeling much better, Dr. Anderson. The medication and rest really helped. I just wanted to make sure I'm fully recovered before going back to work," Sarah explained. Dr. Anderson conducted a thorough examination, checking her temperature, listening to her lungs, and asking about her symptoms. "Everything looks good, Sarah. It seems like you've recovered well. Just continue to take it easy for a few more days, and if you feel ready, you can return to work. If any symptoms reappear or you feel unwell again, please come back immediately," he advised. Sarah thanked Dr. Anderson, feeling relieved and grateful for his care. She left the clinic with a renewed sense of confidence and ready to get back to her routine. Sarah returned to work the following Monday, feeling much better and eager to catch up on her tasks. Her colleagues were happy to see her and expressed their concern and well wishes. "Welcome back, Sarah. We missed you," said Lisa, her coworker, giving her a warm hug. "Thank you, Lisa. I missed you all too. It feels good to be back," Sarah replied, smiling. Mrs. Thompson, her boss, approached her desk with a supportive smile. "I'm glad to see you're feeling better, Sarah. Take your time easing back into your work. If you need anything, just let us know." "Thank you, Mrs. Thompson. I appreciate your understanding," Sarah said, feeling grateful for the supportive environment. Sarah spent the day catching up on emails, finishing her project, and updating her colleagues on her progress. She felt a bit tired by the end of the day, but it was a good kind of tired, the kind that comes
from being productive and
feeling valued. As Sarah settled back into her routine, she couldn't help but reflect on the past. It had been a challenging experience, but it also taught her important lessons about health and self-care. She realized the importance of listening to her body and seeking medical attention when needed. Also learned the value of having a supportive network of family, friends, and colleagues who cared about her well-being. In addition, Sarah appreciated the dedication and professionalism of the healthcare workers who had helped her. Emily, the receptionist, to Maria, the nurse, to Ms. Turner and Dr. Anderson, each person played a crucial role in her health restored. Sarah felt more motivated than ever to take care of herself. She made a commitment to prioritize her well-being by eating nutritious foods, staying active, and getting enough rest. She also decided to learn more about common illnesses and first aid, so she could be better prepared in the future. She signed up for a basic first aid course at the community center and started reading health-related articles and books. As she continued to work and study, Sarah found that her experience with the flu had made her more empathetic towards others. She was more understanding when her colleagues or friends fell ill and offered her support and advice whenever she could.